Hey VC, Jajaonan here with his AZ of hip hop. Well, hip hop that I like or liked, still do like, I suppose. Could listen to it every day. Okay, I'm going to sort of take you through a whirlwind tour of my history of hip hop through the releases that I own, and maybe introduce you to some ones that you've probably never heard of before, or even reminded you of ones that you love, hopefully. But the start of my history of hip hop year dot begins, well, I was going to say sad to say, but actually it's a bloody great album, is Shaka Khan, I Feel For You. And in England, this is pretty much our first sort of introduction to hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it then. And when was this released? 1984. Previous to that, we didn't really know much about hip hop. And I remember watching it on Top of the Pops and going, wow, this is different, this is great, I like this. And then I got into like the next one, sort of more of a poppy sort of feel as well, but definitely sort of early electro, hip hoppy sort of sound was Shannon, Let the Music Play. It's amazing sort of, when was this released? 1984. Yeah, so I mean it's some of the remixes. The remix on this is, on the B-side, is really good. On the last song on side 2, really good. Love Shannon. One of my favourite ever albums all time. I would be, grabbing that from the fire if there ever was one. Then I got into Time Zone when I started to learn a bit more and get a bit more educated about real hip hop. It's African Bambaataa, who's sad to say I haven't got any more of his releases. I need to get some more. But again, sort of electro, early hip hop sort of sounds, really good. And then the one that really did it for me, that sort of, in effect, turned me into a hip hop head, was Dougie Fresh, the Get Fresh crew, the show, which is one of the first beatboxers I think out there. Stoked to own this 12-inch. I love it. This is the song that convinced me and a few of my friends to get our own pieces of roll-up lino, carry them round the village that we lived in, and try to practice all those sort of dance moves that we'd seen on the streets of New York in the early 80s. Probably looking like a bunch of real idiots. In fact, definitely looking like a bunch of idiots. Then I started to, obviously, Paul's Boutique reared its head. Well, the early Beast Boys stuff did, but I wasn't really, it was a bit jokey. So when this came out, I really sort of started to get into the Beastie Boys, and obviously Check Your Head, and Ill Communication, all that sort of stuff. Really great stuff. I love the jazzy sort of elements to it there. It's really sort of lights my fire. Then I got into can't find on my releases, but got particularly into EPMD, Strictly Business, one of the best sample-based hip-hop out there, brilliant. And then followed by the Beatnuts. I love the Beatnuts, great sort of jazzy sort of hip-hop, the sort of stuff I really, really love. And then I got into Paris. Paris was really sort of a big deal at the time, Gorilla Funk. And then I Spearhead, Michael Franti. What was his early band? Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy. They were good. Television, Drug of a Nation, Breeding Ignorance and Curing Radiation, I think. But this is a particularly different album. Really sort of laid back, chilled, very worth buying, getting hold of, downloading, whatever you do these days. And then I sort of took a sort of side tack because I was a bit into blues at the time as well. G Love and Special Sauce, which is, transcends the whole idea of blues hip hop music. It's very much laid back, rapping, sort of singing bluesy sort of guitar-y style. It's really worth checking out. G Love is an amazing entertainer and musical artist. Just on some compilation somewhere that a friend did for me, I heard this song called Funky Alcohol. And I thought for years it was by the Alcoholics, and it took me ages to find it out. It wasn't actually by them. It's by 3-6 Philly, who, to my knowledge, have only done 2 12-inch releases. Those Flags Offend Me and Funky Alcohol. And if you get a chance, you need to check this out. This very, very lazy rapping, chilled, sort of jazzy excellence. It's just amazing sort of hip hop. You need to check it out if you love hip hop. If you haven't heard of it, it's something you do need to sort of check out. Obviously, you got your J-Lib Champion Sound. I must get more Madlib and Dilla. I don't have enough. I've got Madlib Shades of Blue, which is amazing sort of hip hop reworking of famous jazz tunes. And then obviously one of my favourites is Beat Conductor in India. Madlib and Jay Dilla are just amazing artists, and should be, if they haven't been, allowed into the pantheon of music. Okay, very famous album at the time, the Grey Album, which is basically Danger Mouse, who's another great producer. He took the White Album by the Beatles and the Black Album by Jay-Z and basically mashed them together, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's a triumph of music, and he apparently used only the beats and the sounds and the instrumentation and the vocals from those 2 albums. There's no extra stuff added there to the mix, no tomfoolery from the laboratory of the studio. It was just these 2, and he painstakingly cut them together, and it's just amazing. My favourite song on here, I think, has to be Dirt Off Your Shoulders. I think it's amazing. Anyway, check it out. Then I got into more sort of, jazzy stuff again. I've always been into the jazzy stuff. Kiefer's good. I got these 2. I didn't get the last one because it's a bit too piano based for me, and piano can sort of annoy me after a while. So I like these 2. These are very nice albums by Kiefer. And more modern stuff. I don't really like the more modern sound. I'm more sort of old school, but occasionally I'll buy something. But I love Erykah Badu, and she did this album, You Can't Use My Phone, which apparently is a mixtape based on the Drake Hotline Bling song single, and she's just basically taken elements of that and just run away with it, and it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. If you get hold of this, you certainly should try and find a way of downloading it. Erykah Badu, I love Erykah Badu. And then most modern sort of elements, I think, Sudan Archives. I think amazing. She is, think African American, or she's moved from Africa and recently lives in America, but she plays traditional sort of African instrumentation, stringed instrumentation, and overbeats, and it's very lazy but very nice, and her voice is amazing, and she's a very beautiful lady, and I love that cover. My plan is to sort of try and put that cover on the wall. I love it. Anyway, so at some point I took a side sort of look into sort of a Mo-Wax vibe. When I really got into the Beastie Boys, I was introduced to a guy called Mark Nashita, who did this album called Mark's Keyboard Repair, which is amazing, and particularly Insects All Around Us is an amazing song. It's just a cavalcade of fantastic instrumentation and sort of keyboard virtuosity, weirdness and hip-hop sort of stylings. And he's done a couple of other things as well. This one, which is called Performing Chicken, which is great. And there's obviously, I've got a third EP, which is basically an album, if you look at the songs on it. But all sort of Mo-Wax based sort of style, and then I got into more sort of Mo-Wax, and then sort of into DJ Shadow and Qbert and all that sort of stuff, and I ran away with the whole sort of turntablist vibe, and then there's some Sam Server there, who's great as well, but not as great as DJ Shadow. But then I noticed that there was a whole sort of area of hip hop which I hadn't really mind, and that was the sort of Japanese side of hip hop. And I was introduced to Japanese hip hop via Major Force Be With You, which is an amazing compilation. It's 4 albums, that's a box set. Very cheap on Discogs, I think. It's about 20 quid. It's worth it because it's amazing. It's got some really great stuff on it. The Japanese always manage to make everything sound exceptional and interesting. And that's got people like Tycoon Tosh and, Tycoon Tosh, who, I had to go to Japan to get that album. He's done things like Love TKO and, there's all sorts of other stuff which I picked up, Chappie and, and there's Watermelon, which is another great offshoot of that sort of area. Major Force International presents a Japanese noise band, amazing. Just Melon again, just coming out my ears, this Mo-Wax stuff, just Mo-Wax stroke Major Force West, just show you all this sort of stuff. Love TKO, I love that 12-inch so much I bought it twice. Have you ever done that? Just order something and then forgotten you had it? Yeah, it's just more Major Force, just love it. It's just more Major Force, in your ear, great 12-inch that. Some other stuff, Major Force again, love TKO. I think he went a bit strange though, love TKO, because he turned it sexy TKO. I think TKO is basically to do with Tycoon Tosh. And then you've got TPO, Hiroshi's Dub, which is amazing 12-inch. Anyway, all of those things are fantastic, and they're very sort of interesting. That's a very good. That is an amazing sort of ambient-y trip hop, dub, hip hop, Japanese sort of merry-go-round, and it's. I got it for $1.99, and it's a double, and it's gatefold. No, it's not gatefold. It's double, and it's worth it. If you can track it down on Discogs, you must, because it's just amazing. It's got on it Mugen in the Morning, which is an amazing song. It's got so many people. Mugen, Theremin Beat, Sonic Scale, just Super Salad, Nishita, Goldsworthy, Major Force West EMS Orchestra, Kudo and Goldsworthy, just all amazing stuff. Must check it out. I, implore you to check it out. Whoops. Obviously, Nigo's Ape Sounds, which is just another Mo-Wax Japanese sort of artist who's just weird. He does some great hip hop, some great sort of, I suppose, dubby sort of stuff, but also, I mean, there's songs on there which are just punk rock, and it's worth listening to. My all-time favourite Japanese hip-hopper, though, it has to be said, is DJ Crush. Love DJ Crush. Moody bastard, but absolutely amazing. I mean, Big City Lover. The singing out of is out of tune, but it's something about that song and the fact that it's sung out of tune by Sonia Valle, which adds to the greatness of it. It's got some amazing sort of scratching on here. Apparently on YouTube, but I've never found it, there's a video of DJ Crush scratching 4 turntables at the same time with his feet and his hands. I don't know if that's true, but that's part of the whole sort of the allure of DJ Crush. He's just an amazing scratcher and an amazing artist, and there's a song on here called On the Double, which is the best dub song I've ever heard, done by a non-Jamaican. Anyway, DJ Crush did also Strictly Turntablised, which is another great album. Message at the Depth, Supreme Team. I love his his work he did with Ronnie Jordan, jazz guitarist. It's just an amazing. You got Bad Brothers, DJ Crush, Ronnie Jordan, just amazing stuff. And he also did some great work with a guy called Toshinori Kondo, who is a Japanese trumpeter, and it's a jazz trumpeter. It's just an amazing compilation of chilled out jazzy hip hop dubby stuff, and it's great. It's worth checking out. But my favourite all-time DJ Crush release is this Old Scottish, which is on Moax, part of the Excursions series, which is a series of, I think, 12-inch releases by different artists. Old Scottish is just Howie B and DJ Crush, and it's just one of the best songs, hip-hop tunes you could ever hope to hear before you die. Check it out. A few more things. Oh yeah, here's the CD version of the box set I was talking about, which I think you can pick up again quite cheaply on Discogs. I'm hiding the price because I'm quite embarrassed about how much I paid for it. Okay, go on, I'll show you. £24.99 from Crash Records in Leeds. Fantastic place. I'm embarrassed because I was a student when I bought it, and I don't think I ate for 2 weeks because of this release, but I'm so glad I bought it. There's other stuff. I mean, I've got Tycoon Tosh and Kuni Sugimoto, Let It Dub, which is dub versions of songs that he's released in the past. You've got Major Force by Tycoon Tosh, which is an amazing cover. It's pull out sticky bits which you make your own. Don't think you can see that. Anyway, that's good, but weird again. It's got some weird stuff on it, and one of my all-time favourite Japanese underground hip hoppers is a guy called ECD. This is In the Park, which is just a bit like free jazz of hip hop. It's just weird but brilliant, and his rapping is very growly and sort of, couldn't give a fuck. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Really worth checking out if you can get it. Again, I had to get that from Japan, but I'm sure you can get this stuff from Discogs. Other stuff which I'm going to side sort of step before I go on to looking at sort of my foray into world hip hop, other than Japanese hip hop, is Boys in the Hood soundtrack is just amazing sort of thing. Every song on there is brilliant. Diamond D and the Psychotic Neurotics, Stunts, Blunts and Hip Hop. Best Kept Secret is a great track on there. Obviously you got your Wu-Tang Clan, I've got so much Wu-Tang Clan that's just all there. But our particular favourites are Gravediggers, Nigga Mortis, I love that. 1-800 Suicide is just one of the best pieces of bass I've ever heard on any song. It's so deep and so dig so deep into your soul that it just, if you're not alive, you will end up being alive after that. It'd probably raise the dead. And then we've got RZA's Bobby Digital 1. I like the first one. I'm not too keen about the second one, but BOBBY is amazing. But New York City Everything is just an amazing song, track 7. Particularly Method Man's rapping on there is amazing. And some of the lyrics are, amazing. 10 to midnight, but naked with a knife. I just love that. Just amazing. And then you've got Def Squad. Oh my God. That is just one of my all-time favourite albums. I mean, you've got Redman, Eric Sermon and Keith Murray on there, and it's just such a fantastic album. Get it. Must get it. More modern representations of stuff that I'm into. Cream Riggins, very good. Alone Together. Must get that on album if I can. Oh No, Now Again is just... Oh No is just... It's basically... I don't know much about Oh No, but I know he's worked with various people, and he's remixed sort of Zambian hard rock, funk, sort of... What's this? Oh No, Dr. No's Experiment, which is, I think, more sort of... I think it's remixing of sort of Turkish-based weirdness. Edan, obviously, Beauty and the Beat, which is amazing. I particularly love Funky Voltron, it's amazing. And a guy called Maker, who is just not got enough press ever. I mean, he's amazing. And he works with a rapper called Quell, who's really good. And he's done loads of releases and albums. Okay, so moving on to more sort of worldy sort of hip hop. Obviously, start off with Le Flow, French hip hop compilation. It's got people like I Am on it, and who else has it got on it? Psychopath, Assassin, Alliance Ethnique, Akhenaton. Really great stuff. I think I Am the Saga, the first song's got the Wu-Tang Clan on it as well. And then you've got Lahane, which is a great soundtrack, and also has got similar people on it. I Am, MC Solar. Talking of MC Solar, don't know why I'm saying it like that, but MC Solar is absolutely amazing, particularly this album. Oh, my French is terrible. Qui sème le vent récolte le tempo. Bouge de là on there is a great song. Track 12 and 13. Lazy sort of French hip hop. And okay, so let's go on to LBT. LBT again, a collective from Israel, which includes people like Amir Bresler, Karen Dunn, Tammuz Deckel, Rebel Sun, DJ Mesh, Yudko. Amazing stuff. Really sort of, again, lazy hip hop, but modern, and some great... I mean, Karen Dunn is such an amazing soul singer that, it's just, again, largely ignored by the rest of the world. Then you've got people like Onra, who's French, who Onra has done a series of taking Chinese 45s and remixed them. Chino series part 3, that is. Some really lovely sort of, but weird production going on there and remixing. This guy from Helsinki, I think he's from Helsinki. His name is, what's his name? Jahani. This is Hakaloidit, and it's just an amazing thing. It doesn't look like a hip hop album, but it is. It includes traditional sort of Northern European sort of instrumentation with a really sort of hip hop vibe and mixing. Then you've got okay, so let's take you to Australia. Not really known as the land of hip hop, but absolutely great. I mean, there's each one of the people on this list, on this compilation: Hilltop Hoods, Draft, The Herd, Murph and Platonic, Illy, Coolism, Earthboy. All these people have released really great albums, and loads of them, and they're really great. And I think Australia is very underrated as a centre of musical vibage, and we need to be checked out. Okay, so I'm going to Britain now, just UK. So things that you might have heard, might not have heard of. Asian Dub Foundation, community music. I love this. It's got Rebel Warrior in it, which is a great song, which is just amazing. And they are just loud, brash, but hip-hoppy sort of vibe. There's guitars in there as well. I remember I went to see this band in the Reading Alley Cat, and Reading Alley Cat refused to sell alcohol because the singer was only 15 at the time, or the main rapper. Anyway, funny story. Deltron 3030, Things That You Do. Is that a song? Things That You Can Do. Yeah. Things That You Can Do, yeah, track 4. Amazing. This is basically Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Dan the Automator, Kid Koala, and Damon Albarn from Blur. Just amazing. Just really good. Check it out. Stereo MCs, known as some sort of early sort of trip-hoppy band. Dancey pop, hip-hop in the 90s, but they matured to release this, which is just a fantastic collection of mixes of old school stuff, including the Troubleneck Brothers' Back to Hip Hop, which I can't get hold of on a 12-inch. Back to Hip Hop is an amazing song by Troubleneck Brothers, sorry. Other stuff from my past, Miss Dynamite D, A Little Deeper. It's a great album. It Takes More is just a great song. Just check it out if you haven't heard her. She was sort of balancing on the two-step, sort of dubsteppy sort of elements, but her vibe was hip hop. And then we've got, before I go into the last sort of area, I've got Zimbabwe Legit, which I believe were actually more American than English, but they were supported by DJ Shadow. I think he remixed one of their songs. But there were two African dudes from Zimbabwe who came over to America or Europe, and they released this. It's just old school beautifulness. 1992 it was released officially, but actually it wasn't released until 2005 in this country. But it's worth getting hold of. It's just pure old school, sort of like Tribe Called Questy sort of stuff. Really, really great. And then you've got another British hero, English hero, whatever you want to call him, Jajaonan, who, this is a good album, but not as great as his early How to Cut and Paste stuff. I've got one there, two, the 80s, which is great, which has got a version, it's got a remix of Terence Trent D'Arby's Sign Your Name, hip-hop style. It's just amazing. It just blows your mind. And then he worked with a guy called Dan Greenpeace and did Unthugged 1 and 2. I think this is 2. But anyway, just worth checking out. I don't know how cheap they are on Discogs, but this is just... it's got Papa Large. Just really... a lot of it is just silly, but a lot of it is just great. And then I've got this, which is... it's called DJ Rubbish and Cassette Boy. Inside a Whale's Cock, Volume 1. DJ Yoda is very similar to Cassette Boy. They basically take bits and mix them together, and he's very famous for releasing various sort of cut up word pieces, which is very hip hop. But this has got it's got like a... who is it by? It's a version of Jenny from the Block by J-Lo, but it's done in a sort of just a sort of a North, like a Yorkshire sort of style. Jenny from the Block. It's really funny, but actually there's some really good stuff on there as well. Anyway, that was my A to Z of hip hop. Jajaonan's A to Z of hip hop. Hope you enjoyed it, and check it out. Bye.